Peace, love, and light, everybody. Peace, peace. So I've been doing like just research on a project. Like I've been doing research for years on this project, honestly. Um, and just from messages I receive, like visions, messages, um, I'm very connected into the native tribes um, of these lands here in the United States. And we are in this cycle again, okay? Land grabs again. Okay, so like y'all know the story, 405 years ago, the Puritans, funny name, came over, the UK, the crown came over here onto this land was called the Netherlands, and basically did land grabs. They slaughtered the tribes, and they did, and land grabbed. Here we are again. 2020 was the 400-year anniversary. This is significant to what is happening now in the world, what's going on with the fires. It's just, we're in today, not then. It's really, it's no different. It's fucked up, part of my mouth, but it's super messed up what's going on here. First of all, there's a lot of evidence being removed, yes. A lot of evidence on so many levels we don't even know about, okay? And we don't. The USG doesn't want us to know about, and these, you know, people over in LA, Diddy and all them, all that evidence that's like wiping it out. What a way to wipe something out, right? No matter how they did it, it doesn't matter. It's being wiped out. They're This is why I was receiving like the land being recarved again. Like, okay, here we are again. And for whatever reason, I am tapped into this. We're in this cycle again. 405 years later, here we are. It's a little different, but it's the same thing. Okay, so what they did was they came over and they committed like serious mass genocide. They imprisoned them, they imprisoned the tribes here. They make it all sound like everyone got along and it was just wonderful. And they sat down, they had Thanksgiving dinner. No, that's a lie. That is a big fat lie. Um, and here we are 405 years later, they're doing the same thing, using different techniques, same thing, creating homelessness, displacing people. Because remember, in 2020, that guy locked us down. Like, it's amazing how the general population forget about that. Y'all think this is a great guy. He locked us down. That's coming again. And this isn't a fear thing, they like to create chaos, control. This is all about control. Okay, so this is what they did 405 years ago. Thousands of tribes, as well as their late allies, the Narragansett, along with the Mohegan, right, and the Christianized Indians, Massachusetts and Pawtucket died too. They estimated 3,000 to 5,000 in all. But this, keeping count, anyway, the wigwams were destroyed, which were their homes, during this time, leading to a forcible removal and a current homelessness to the Indians. This is what they're doing now. They're doing it now. They're doing it out on the West Coast. They're going to do it here on the East Coast. And they already did it on the East Coast in North Carolina. This is like, and they did it over in Hawaii. It's the same freaking story. It's just different or they're the same players. They just look different now. This is some sick, sick stuff. I'm reading this because I'm doing research again for a side. It's an important project to me. Um, the starvation, the diseases, the elements. Here we go again. And it's like, and not to disrespect. And this isn't honest to God to disrespect you. You want to pray for rain? Pray for rain. They can create rain. It's interesting how there's water shortages out in California. again, and I posted that video where the ocean is right there, right? And they can make it rain. They seed it. They make it snow. They make it rain. That was completely unnecessary. These are total land grabs for control, for whatever the next layer is, because they're recarving again the structure of these lands. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Mother Earth is a real entity. This is where I feel this piece has been missing all along, is she's a real energy. She's a real energy. I know we live in a matrix. I get it. I get it. Believe me, I get it. But it's a false template on an organic energy. We're made of it. We're made of it. And that energy is only going to take so much. And it's only going to tolerate shit for so long. And this is another level. It's like they took her, and I showed it, actually was an excellent video of describing what I felt was super fitting of what possibly we're in. Okay? Because no, I do not believe we're in a round ball zooming through space. I'm sorry, I don't. I really want to, but it just... This place, the water world, right? They have the ability to drain certain areas and dome them. Right? You do it. You make little you make little gardens, right? With like greenhouses, but we're a bigger greenhouse on a bigger scale. It's like that. And now they're getting ready to do it again, except for she's going to fight back now. She's going to fight back. This is too much. There's just been too much going on. And I do believe in God, and I do believe in angels, and I do believe in the interstellars and the galactic wars. I absolutely do. And, the Atlantis, and they did this in Atlantis. They did this in Atlantis. And here we are again. They're doing it again. They did it back 405 years ago to the Native Americans that were on these lands. This is just like recycle all over again. Just the more research I'm doing, I'm like, we're in this all over again. Just more sophisticated, I guess that's the word I'm looking for, but it's still the same thing. So when I was a kid, we would stay in Plymouth, and I remember my dad took us out on a boat, me and my brothers, and my mom stayed behind. And I was like 7 years old. I didn't know the history. Let's put it that way. I didn't know the history of now that we can research it now. I didn't know any of that. I just knew this is where we went. We vacationed here, and I had a lot of experiences supernaturally where we would vacation in this place in Plymouth. And we were out in the boat, and I was getting all these horrible visions. They were horrible. And I was screaming to my dad, "You need to turn around. You need to turn around. They murdered them all, Dad. They murdered them all." I could see, it was horrific. For a 7-year-old to have a vision like that, it was fucking horrific. To see a massacre take place, and I didn't know, mind you, a massacre had taken place. And I'm like, they're gonna kill Mom. They're gonna kill Mom. And I felt like because my mom stayed behind. My mom would like to, go for walks on the paths and stuff like that. And it was the vision was so in depth. My dad had to turn the boat around and go back, and it was like it was deep. And so I've been doing a lot of research on this, and I'm like, oh my God, here we are again. Here we are again. Different situations, burning things down. What a way to do land grabs, right? Flood it out, burn it. It's the same shit. It's just not we're just not riding around on horses doing it. Now we're doing it from laser beams, and our own military can do that. Listen, I've seen video of our own military causing a great fire. It's sad. It's a super sad, upside down world we live in. For they took an oath to protect foreign and domestic. I think they forgot that. And I'm just doing this, again, doing this research for a project that I like, not even thinking about what's going on today in the world at the moment. And I'm like, oh my God, here we are, 405 years later. They locked us down in 2020 at the 400-year anniversary of when the crown came over to the United States. That was not by accident. That was on purpose. Um, and here they are getting rid of evidence. There must have been some evidence. And of course, we all know minerals and stuff like that under the land as well. But there's a lot of evidence being destroyed. Just like the UK did when they came over here. They destroyed, like, they renamed everything. They renamed everything. There's not a lot of things that have Native American names to it anymore at all. They renamed everything. I'm reading up on this. I'm like, well, what was it called before this guy claimed it was his fucking land? Like, it really upsets me. Like, I'm really connected into the natives. Like, I have to work through it's like creating a resentment with me. Like, for a long time, I have resentments against, no offense, pale faces. Um, those who came over and enslaved those who were originally to this land. It does not sit okay with me. And they renamed everything after them, like the natives never existed. And here we are again, and it goes into like Spain, but it goes like this is just the eastern seaboard I'm reading about. Haven't even gotten to the western seaboard yet. Like, I can only imagine what's gone over on the western seaboard, because they infiltrated over here first, and then they just diseased the land and took over everything. I mean, it was bad enough the natives were battling themselves, but something tells me it wasn't this level. And then there's not a lot on King Philip War. By the grace of God, my kids went to school and they were learning about that. Not every school was learning about King Philip War. And that's why every November I do talk about it, because your turkey that you eat is a representation of Chief Metacomet and how he was beheaded and dismembered. That's the turkey. Um, on a profile rock, which would represent what? The platter. It was a ritual, and that's what they did. That's what they would do. They would cut their heads off. It's a power thing, and here we are, 405 years later. They fought it out North Carolina, doing land grabs there. Before that was Hawaii. Land grabs there, because it's even deeper than that. Like, we're talking stargates. We're talking not just stargates. We're talking about activation areas for stargates, ancient lands. I mean, Roman Empire did that same thing. Like, it's this fucked up cycle that we are in that we have to change somehow. I have no idea how to do that, but we have to change it. We can't just stand by and be like, oh, wow, yeah, California's on fire. Let's pray for rain. God bless you, but they can make it rain. They can make it rain. We all know this. Anyone on my channel already knows this. They seed it. They can create it. They can create snowstorms. They can create tsunamis. And here they are not having any water, and their governor's not even in the country. Um, it's all clearly planned, just like it was 405 years ago, except for, and when Chief Metacomet came to me, and trust me, my story will never change, for my channeling is true to the core, for they were like nothing we had ever seen before, for we could not be prepared. And that tells me, like, they were dealing with shapeshifters. That was telling me a lot, actually. It depends on how deep you're willing to go, but I have had visions about this stuff off and on all my life. And I am meant to walk these lands to help heal them. That's the only reason why I would think for reincarnation, would for me to come back to heal this stuff. And reading on this, it was a great slaughter. Well, that's what's going on in California. No, I really don't have sympathy for the devil with these Hollywood people. I don't have hate for them, but I don't have sympathy either. They're burning evidence of what their gross behavior was doing. There's no coincidence Diddy's in jail, and he's calling his son using code words, and here we are with fires. You know, this is deep, deep core stuff. He wasn't just some rapper, you know. He really wasn't. He was connected deeply. Why, I don't know. I couldn't, looking at the dude like, what, huh? And same with Jay-Z. You know, they're all Illuminati. They're all Illuminati. And they're going to cover up their own tracks. And I'm going to go with, this is why I'm getting this message, because 405 years ago, the Illuminati came on these lands for land grabs, for mineral rights, for things that we don't even know about. And here we are again, 405 years later, going through the same cycle. Differently, but it's the same thing. It's interesting because I'm like, as a commander, I'm just reading this for a second. So this wasn't a holy war to save Christianity from the pagans as propaganda, as it was propagandized. It wasn't. It was another strategic reach for continued land grabbing. And this was of Massachusetts. This was back 405 years ago. And look at what's going on now. That's connected. That's what you call connected, ladies and gentlemen, in cycles, repeating over and over and over again. As I was saying about 3 years ago, they keep putting us back in loops and in loops. And we have to be the change. Hi, Freedom. We have to be the change. So that's all I'm going to document right now. Again, this was for a whole other, it's clearly connected. I didn't realize that. But the more research I'm doing for this other project, I'm seeing how it's connected to now. And it's just like mind-blowing to me. You know, cycles and cycles. And it's even deeper than what they're even putting in here. Because you're talking about not just land grabs. You're talking about, again, mineral rights, stargates. Over on this side is Atlantis. West Coast is the Pacific Rim with Lemuria. The chakras of the world. It's deep. It's deep. It's really deep, and these cycles have to end. So that's all I'm going to document for right now. I appreciate you being here. For those who are trying to put the pieces together for themselves as well. This is no coincidence. And I'm reading, with no land and with no cornfields unplanted is left, it left us in dire consequences till to date, and left us under total English subjugation with greater restrictions of movement, habitation, and that legal rights, which something tells me the Indians had a whole other thing going down. But we are now here to say that the jig is up, and Chachmat, the king, is dead. At least one historian wrote that no tribe had been annihilated in the war. If not annihilated, it must have been said that the war most assured led to the near elimination of our nation. And to this day, we are not recognized by the United States government, from whom established after our nation as an authentically organized tribe. That's profound. To me, that's so profound, and here we are again. We have rights, and we have to start really exercising our rights as one nation under God, indivisible, not like that guy was saying in the video. Who gives a crap what you look like? Stop arguing over your religion and what color your fucking skin is. We all need to unite together and protect our land, our world, our life. Our life. I mean, they're setting fucking fires. They're flooding people out. As these billionaires are standing there like, acting like they're doing a good deed. And people still fucking believe them and still believe and devote in them. Again, that guy does not give a crap about me and you. That guy, the president now and the president that's coming up, And if you go back and look at CIA documents, and they show you in movies, and you can think it's just entertainment. It's not. Mission Impossible with the masks and stuff. These aren't people that look like me and you. They're not. They don't give a shit about me and you. Proof is in the pudding. Go look out in LA right now if you don't believe what I'm saying. It's time to wake up. This is not okay. None of this is okay. None of us should be okay with this at all. It's time we rise. And I kept saying, and I kept saying it's going to be a civil rising. And here we are. And it happened 400 years ago, 405 years ago. And here we are 405 years later, plus. It's going to be a fight to fight for our civil rights. Because these dudes are just coming in, burning shit, flooding shit, and then going on TV. Oh, let's raise money for them, when they're the ones that did it, and they have the money to spare. I'm not saying don't help people. That's not what I mean. These are people that are living off of the lands that they shouldn't even be on in the first place, and made billions of dollars on TV and music or whatever the frig else that they do, not contributing back to society whatsoever, and then go on TV like they're such a good person. And Allie Carter did call it. She said there were going to be fires out in LA. And what was it? The Getty. If you watch the Allie Carter, oh my God, videos that I posted, she would talk about the tunnels under the museum, Getty Museum there, out in LA. Well, that burned, because they're burning all the evidence of the weirdo shit that they do under there, of the other world that goes on, that most don't even believe, and they laugh and think it's fucking funny that me and you talk about this stuff, when they look stupid. I'm sorry to say it, but they look silly. They look silly laughing about it, like it's not funny. There's children under there. There's women and children under there. And they're getting rid of all the evidence. There's no coincidence, none whatsoever, with all this Diddy trial shit going on. And I don't know about who the next arrest is going to be, which she was using the word rock the nation, and that sounds like Jay-Z. I don't know why that would rock the nation. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a fan of any of these people, so, he should be arrested. All of them should be fucking arrested. Anybody that hurts children should be arrested. Period. End of story. All you men out there that diddle kids, you all need to be hung by your ball sack in the center square of your town. Seriously. I'm sorry to be so harsh, but it's true. Because that's some sick-ass shit. And it has to stop. It's heinous acts and heinous crimes. And children don't deserve that. Nobody deserves that. And there's no coincidence that these specific areas burned. And if you do the research, you'll see these specific areas are where all these Hollywood people live, and all these tunnels underneath their houses, and they do some, they have their little pizza parties and their little weirdo labels for things, and your Wayfair, when you order on Wayfair, you're paying for a child to be traded. It's sick. It's deep. It's super deep. So I'm going to stop there, because I just think that's the best thing to do right now, is stop there. Acts 29. It's the missing last chapter. Okay, I'll look that up. I will look that up. But, I will end with this. Mother Earth, the great mother, is not going to stand. Like, just hang on, because she's going to respond, and you'll know it, and you'll feel it. Didn't I post Acts 29, Freedom? I feel like I did that the other day. I could have sworn I did, because I was talking about how the world was going to burn and be able to be seen from the heavens. Planting churches. Acts 29. There's an actual network. Is that what you're talking about?